Mario Kart's zany tracks have now defined many generations of fantastical racing games and led to several of the most recognizable levels in gaming history. But they had to come from somewhere. So let's flash back to the very first installment in Mario Kart history to talk about the tracks, where they came from, how they work, and the legacy they've left behind. This game features 20 race courses, split into 4 cups and 4 battle courses. Many of these early tracks would inspire the series' most iconic courses, which makes it all the more impressive that the entire game was designed by only 8 people with a startlingly quick turnaround of only about a year. All accolades aside, compared to later installments, this early game does have considerably fewer course designs. Essentially just 8 racetracks appear with slight variations across the cups. This in mind, let's work through the cups in order and talk about each track as we go. Our first collection is the Mushroom Cup, which includes 5 unique tracks, Super Mario Kart being the series' only game to feature 5 tracks per cup. And it begins with Mario Circuit 1, the first and simplest of 4 Mario Circuit tracks. As the first track most players will see, it spawned a legacy of reboots, remixes, and remasters in later games. It is the first track remade in GBA's Mario Kart Super Circuit, the series' first entry to reintroduce old tracks. These aren't technically the retro tracks that we see in later games, but rather a collection of cups titled Extra Cups, which feature every course from Super Mario Kart. But Mario Circuit 1 also holds the spot for the series' first official retro track, appearing in Mario Kart DS, which was the first game to feature true retro tracks. It also reoccurs in the mobile Mario Kart Tour and has inspired many variations throughout the rest of the Mario Kart series, and other varied games. You probably remember the Mario Circuit stage from the Super Smash Bros. Series, but might not remember that this track also inspired a board in the mostly forgotten Monopoly-style Fortune Street. If you're one of the few who did play this forgettable Wii game, you might still not have heard about Mario Circuit's appearance in the Mario Kart game that has almost entirely been lost to history. Let's knock the dust off the world's most forgotten Mario Kart installment and talk briefly about Super Mario Kart Doki Doki Race. Within recent years, the Mario Kart Arcade GP series has become a constant across arcades and features gameplay and design heavily inspired by the main console's series. But this familiar series wasn't actually the first Mario Kart arcade game. That honor goes to a title released some 11 years earlier than the first GP game, and the gameplay is, well, somewhat different. This arcade game was not mass-produced and by all accounts was something of a commercial failure, but deserves a nostalgic nod nevertheless. This unique installment didn't actually feature any racing gameplay. Rather, it functions like the classic horse racing arcade games, where players can blow their savings on predicting the winning figurine. Very few videos of this Mario Kart enigma exist, but those that do clearly show the gameplay taking place on Mario Circuit 1. This course has had an impact. What exactly does this course entail, though? It appears to be a strikingly simple loop, although perhaps this simplicity is what led to the misprint in the Super Mario Kart instruction booklet, where it was printed upside down. Of course, this is the same instruction booklet that also encourages players to look at opponents' screens in multiplayer for a tactical advantage, or what we now know as cheating, so perhaps it's not to be trusted. The quick loop is only interrupted by a cluster of warp pipes, the iconic transportation system that first spawned enemies way back in the OG arcade Mario Bros. The second track of the Mushroom Cup is Donut Plains 1, and it is here that we can first detect a direct inspiration. It seems that much of Super Mario Kart actually takes place across the lush vacation paradise of Dinosaur Land, the island setting for Super Mario World. Besides clear stylistic similarities and the fact that Super Mario Kart and Super Mario World were developed around the same time, we know this because Donut Plains actually appears as a location in Super Mario World as well. It's the second world of that game, perhaps most notable for being the spot where the Cape Feather is introduced. Geographically, this puts the Donut Plains 1 racetrack somewhere around here in the Dinosaur Land world map. Dinosaur Land is most notable as a home for many Yoshis, and is a well-established area in the grander Mario universe. It's the setting for the Super Mario World animated series.
It's Mario! We're on an airplane going to Dinosaur Land!
Features in Super Mario Adventure's comic, and even sung about by a shell top in Mario and Luigi Dream Team. Thanks to a variety of obscure sources, we know a bit about the island as a whole. For example, we can confidently proclaim that the island's governor is named B-Ron Tassor, thanks to a Nintendo adventure book called Dinosaur Dilemma. We also, strangely, have evidence that this land is apparently set on Earth, as an issue of the German Club Nintendo magazine claims it is located in the Pacific Ocean. This logic is fair enough, as the Pacific Ocean contains most of the islands in the world, around 25,000, that can be divided across three main groups: Micronesia, Melanesia, and Polynesia. This Super Mario World connection is also drawn in more subtle ways throughout other courses. The third track of the Mushroom Cup is Ghost Valley 1, and if you listen carefully to the course's soundtrack, you can tell it's a sped-up remix of Super Mario World's Ghost House theme. These large haunted homes feature Boo's, the spooky nemesis from Super Mario Bros. 3. Technical limitations at the time prevented Yoshi from entering the ghost houses, which was justified as him having a fear of ghosts. Of course, he seems to have overcome this fear by Super Mario Kart, where decorative boos crowd the skies. As I mentioned in my previous video on Mario Kart item history, boos are the only Mario character so far to appear as course decoration, an item, and a playable character. They decorate all the Ghost Valley courses in Super Mario Kart and are technically deployable there as an item called Ghost, although only in 2-player mode. They don't truly become integrated as an item until Mario Kart 64, where they steal other players' items and grant invisibility. Moving forwards a few games, they first appear as a playable character in Mario Kart Double Dash. Ghost Valley 1 specifically reappears as a retro track a few times, both in the mobile Mario Kart Tour and the Game Boy Advance's Mario Kart Super Circuit. This version is altered slightly. The background is now borrowed from a different Super Circuit track called Boo Lake. Back to Super Mario Kart. The next track is wrapped in a deep history of Mario lore. This is Bowser's Castle 1, a course that would go on to inspire Bowser's Castle courses in every subsequent Mario Kart game. While this first humble course only reappears as an extra course in Super Circuit, the other variants, Bowser's Castle 2 and 3, do reappear as retro tracks later on. Bowser's Castle courses get considerably more advanced as the series progresses, but the simple stone road suspended in a pool of lava is no laughing matter. Despite barriers making it challenging to fall in, an unlucky fall would not lead to a gentle retrieval by Lakitu in real life. Lava exists in temperatures averaging between 1300 and 2200 degrees Fahrenheit, and a fall in would be devastating. An article from The Verge details how it would cause your body water to boil to steam, while simultaneously melting the body from the outside in, but cheerfully mentions that there's no cause for concern, because volcanic gases would likely render you unconscious first. The reality of falling into lava would also be quite different in another surprising way, which is to say that you wouldn't really fall in at all. Whereas a fall in this course seems to plop you deep into a broiling soup, the reality is that lava isn't totally a liquid, even though it presents as one. The molten rock is extremely viscous and solidifies quickly, so quickly that you can even run across it like this guy, although please, don't. All this means that in reality, you'd just end up sitting on top of the lava flow and burning slowly. Thankfully, Mario Kart has a negligible connection to reality, and this horrifying fate won't be yours on Bowser's Castle 1. The castle itself is loosely based on the one that appears from the first Super Mario Bros., but Bowser's Castle has appeared in countless variations throughout the Mario universe. We might assume that there are actually many Bowser's Castles spread around, as they appear in different locations depending on the game. Generally, the locations are in undisclosed parts of the Koopa Kingdom, but this isn't always true. For example, the widely panned educational game Mario is Missing inexplicably sets Bowser's Castle in Antarctica. Sticking with the assumption that Super Mario Kart takes place on Super Mario World's Dinosaur Land, we can guess that this castle specifically is the one from the Valley of Bowser. This conclusion is further strengthened by the fact that the music for this course is a variation of Bowser's battle theme in Super Mario World. The fifth and final track from the Mushroom Cup is Mario Circuit 2. This is also our first variation. As I mentioned earlier, most of the tracks in the game feature several altered versions. Largely, the course is aesthetically the same as Mario Circuit 1, although it does feature a jump which opens up a great strategic area to lay items, as racers who don't complete the jump are set back in the lap. This track reappears in Super Circuit, Mario Kart 7, and Mario Kart Tour. As it is otherwise largely the same, we're going to leap forwards to the Flower Cup. The first track in the set is an entirely fresh base course, Choco Island 1. As further evidence of my thesis that this game is set in Dinosaur Land, the island from Super Mario World also features a section called Chocolate Island. It's the sixth world in that game and aesthetically is extremely similar. Of course, the name comes from the brown mud that covers much of the area, a hazard from the drivable version in Super Mario Kart. The course reappears in Mario Kart Super Circuit, although instead it uses the background of Sunset Wilds, a new track for Super Circuit. The rest of the Flower Cup are alterations on earlier courses. The second track is Ghost Valley 2, which is very similar to the first, with some layout changes. It also reappears in both Super Circuit and Mario Kart Wii. It's the shortest course in that game and features a few small design changes. One of the interesting aesthetic differences is that the background has been upgraded to include a silhouette of what appears to be Luigis Mansion. This is, of course, the titular location in the Luigi's Mansion games, and although I couldn't find any evidence that the spooky home is ever given a specific location, there's no evidence that it exists on Dinosaur Land, which geographically moves Ghost Valley to a new location for the Wii. A brief backstory on the mansion. Luigi originally wins the mansion in a contest he does not enter, and upon arriving discovers that it's haunted and that Mario has been captured. Eventually, everyone must warm to the house, though, as it appears in a number of Mario Kart games, as well as a smattering of other Mario titles. It appears in the background of some tracks, such as Double Dash's Luigi's Circuit, but more notably, it is a playable course in a number of Mario Kart games. It's a battle course in Mario Kart Double Dash and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, as well as a racing track in Mario Kart DS, Mario Kart 7, and Mario Kart Tour. Back to Super Mario Kart, the third track of the Flower Cup is Donut Plains 2. Other than its different track shape, it's largely the same as Donut Plains 1. The most obvious additions are the gophers, who leap out of the soil throughout the track. These appear to be Monty Moles, which makes sense as this enemy first appears in Super Mario World. If they snag you in Super Mario Kart, they'll cling to your car and slow you down. This is consistent with Super Mario World, where they will chase you persistently. The fourth track of the Flower Cup is yet another variation, Bowser's Castle 2. It's actually the longest course in the game, but otherwise many of its features are reminiscent of the first version. This includes the familiar Bowser's Castle course hazard, the thwomp. It makes sense that Bowser's Castle has such a thwomp stockpile. According to Mario and Luigi, partners in time, the thwomp are actually created by volcanic activity, so the boiling lava land of Bowser's Castle is a logical home. These nemesis can often be seen on lava worlds, but not always. They first appear in Super Mario Bros. 3 in the fortress level of Desert Land. The final track of the Flower Cup keeps us in familiar territory with Mario Circuit 3. As with other variations, the core features of the track are mostly unchanged, but the track is in a new layout. This layout will be familiar to Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart Tour fans, where the track reappears as a retro track, and perhaps even to fans of real-world racing. This is because the track bears a passing resemblance to Malaysia's Sepang International Circuit and Spain's Circuito de Jerez, both of which have held major Formula 1 events. Moving on to Super Mario Kart's Star Cup, we have our first entirely new course in a while, Koopa Beach 1. Races here take place across a series of sandbanks set amongst a blue sea. This picturesque course is simple and very quick, the only real hazards being the Cheep infested waters. Cheeps are a long-standing Mario water enemy, first appearing in Super Mario Bros. They also seem to be inspired, at least in part, by the design of some real-world fish. In Super Mario Kart, they will flop out of the water, gaining some considerable airtime, a feat that can also be spotted in the real animal kingdom. Although not the only fish with airtime, the most famous is, of course, the flying fish. This is actually a classification which includes many remarkable fish that can execute some truly legendary air. The longest recorded flight time yet is an astonishing 45 seconds, caught by a Japanese television crew. Perhaps more incredible than the record itself is that an actual television crew could capture footage this rough. But I promise what you're looking at is a very talented flying fish. Other impressive flying fish stats include a maximum altitude up to 20 feet and a distance up to 655 feet, although they can also skim the surface and taxi without returning to the water for distances as far as 1,312 feet. Cheeps are quite a bit more sedentary, however, and mostly stay in their lane on Koopa Beach. This track also introduced the Mario Kart tradition where light blue water is drivable but will slow you down, whereas dark blue denotes an out-of-bounds drop-off. The Star Cup's second course is another variant, Choco Island 2. Largely similar to the first Choco Island, the only significant new variable is a large lake of mud along the course. As with the first Choco Island, piranha plants appear along the way as a course hazard too, a classic Mario item hailing from the first Super Mario Bros. This tracks with Choco Island appearing on Dinosaur Land, as a few piranha plants appear in Super Mario World as well. The traditional pipe piranha plant is actually quite rare in this game compared with other Mario platformers. Only 8 of them appear, and just in one level, Vanilla Dome 3. The jumping piranha plant variant, new for Super Mario World, essentially replaces the traditional rooted version and appears frequently throughout the game. The Choco Island 2 track does make a few reappearances in later Mario Karts, namely Super Circuit, DS, and Tour. The third Star Cup track is an entirely new course design called Vanilla Lake 1. While there is the Vanilla Dome levels in Super Mario World, these take place in a dingy cave and never specifically make reference to any glistening lake hidden within. The closest I could find is that there are a few areas that can be accessed by taking a pipe further downwards into the cavern, such as this section from Vanilla Dome 2, that do seem at first to match the aesthetic of the Super Mario Kart course. It would therefore be possible that Vanilla Lake was in one of these deep underground caverns, except for the clearly visible blue skies above the course. Given this, we don't have a clear location or inspiration for Vanilla Lake, but we can still take a closer look at its design and hazards. The simple loop takes place on a frozen lake, with hazards including piles of snowdrift and jagged gaps in the lake's surface. There's also a number of warp pipes in the way, which is further evidence that this lake isn't the same underground lake from Vanilla Dome, as all of these pipes are transporting downwards. This course reappears in Super Circuit and Mario Kart Tour. Back to variations, the Star Cup's fourth course is Bowser's Castle 3. The course has a new design, but otherwise all its features are familiar, so there's not much new to mention here. Its only reappearance so far was in Super Circuit. The final course of the Star Cup is Mario Circuit 4. This is the longest Mario Circuit variation in the game, but otherwise doesn't have many changes of note. As with Bowser's Castle 3, its only reappearance so far is in Super Circuit, alongside all the other Super Mario Kart courses. This moves us into the last leg of our journey with the Special Cup. Also composed of 5 tracks, the first 4 are variations. First up is Donut Plains 3, which is largely similar to the first two, except for the addition of a large central lake to drive around. This adds 2 broken bridges that must be driven over. You might remember this course from its beautiful remaster as a retro course in Mario Kart 8. It also appears in Super Circuit, of course. The second course is Koopa Beach 2, another variation. Unlike Koopa Beach 1, which takes place across a series of shallow islands, this track sticks to a loop of one central island. The hazards are all largely the same, however. Koopa Beach 2 reappears in Super Circuit, DS, and Tour. The third track of the Special Cup is Ghost Valley 3, similar to earlier variants. Its only reappearance is Super Circuit. The fourth track is Vanilla Lake 2, whose key difference from the first version is that it now surrounds the central lake exposed through a huge broken gap in the ice. This course only reappears in Super Circuit. This brings us to the final and most important track of the Special Cup. Actually, probably the most important track in Mario Kart history. This is the track that spawned a devilishly hard new variant in every main series Mario Kart game to follow, and has easily become the most iconic course in the series' history. Of course, I'm talking about Rainbow Road. Rainbow Road is recognizable enough to actually have slipped into other Mario games as well, with versions appearing in Mario Hoops 3-on-3, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Super Smash Bros. For 3DS, and Paper Mario Color Splash. It even appeared as a minigame in WarioWare Gold called Super Micro Kart, where you must steer through a course to avoid bananas and green shells. It's not just recognizable visually. Super Mario Kart composer Soyo Oka claimed the music for this course was one of her favorite compositions. This famous course is also the most common retro track in the series, appearing in Super Circuit, 7, 8, and Tour. It also began a long tradition of debate over whether Rainbow Road is in space or not. In most games, it seems to float amongst the stars, but a few versions, including Double Dash and the remade N64 Rainbow Road for Mario Kart 8, take place suspended in the night sky above a landscape. This shifting scenery even takes place within the same course. Most variations of the SNES Rainbow Road are set in space, but for the Mario Kart 8 version it is moved much closer over a landscape instead. This is probably for the best, as racing in space without a suit wouldn't be much fun. The vacuum of space would pull all the air from your lungs, rupturing your lungs if any was left over. The remaining oxygen in your body would begin to expand, doubling you in size, although you wouldn't burst because of the elasticity of your skin. All exposed liquid would vaporize, however, boiling the surface of your tongue and eyes. All this would have you passing out after around 15 seconds and dying of asphyxiation at about a minute and a half. The current world record for the SNES Rainbow Road is a minute and 23 seconds, so you could just about survive to the end of a ride-along, but it wouldn't be very comfortable. Before we wrap things up, I also want to take a look at the Battle Mode courses. Battle Mode was actually a much more important part of the game's development than it would become in later versions. Battle Mode was one of the key elements integrated into the game, which was designed with the multiplayer experience in mind. Originally, Super Mario Kart was slated to be a successor to F-Zero, with greater focus on multiplayer, but hardware limitations slowed the breakneck speed of F-Zero's gameplay too much. This inspired a slower-paced redesign, leading to the decision to switch from race cars to karts. Even then, it almost entirely dodged the Mario branding. At first, it was designed as a generic kart racer featuring standard drivers in helmets. It wasn't until Mario's character was implemented for an animation test, and designers realized it would be a great way to distinguish racers, that the switch was permanently made. This focus on multiplayer led to the development of Battle Mode, a unique way to play that incorporated the game's items. The team actually spent more time developing Battle Mode than the racing portion for this game. Super Mario Kart keeps Battle Mode relatively simple track-wise. There's 4 arenas that are stripped-down versions of other racetracks. Battle Course 1 clearly borrows elements from Donut Plains. It's fairly straightforward as a course, although once again this simplicity seems to have led to it being printed upside down in the instruction booklet. This course later reappears in Mario Kart 8 with a complete makeover, including the original dirt being paved. Battle Course 2 is clearly based off the design of the Koopa Beach circuits. Battle Course 3 is a variation on Vanilla Lake, although prototype pictures show that Choco Island was intended to be used instead at one point. Lastly, Battle Course 4 uses the Mario circuit design and reappears as a retro course in Mario Kart Wii. I want to finish on one last unifying note across all the courses. The only design element that appears continuously across every stage is Lakitu. He starts off every race and frantically follows racers around, rescuing anyone who strays off course. Why does this weirdly omniscient character follow you around so much? It's not the only time either. You might remember from the intro of Super Mario 64 that Lakitu is actually the one who holds the camera, following Mario relentlessly through his entire treacherous adventure. Why would Lakitu risk so much for no reward? Well, seemingly it's because he has a stake in the game. According to the booklet for Super Mario Kart, Lakitu actually owns all of the tracks. So the next time you go rampaging around, spare a thought for the weird little cherub who's cleaning up after you. Well, thanks very much for following me on this journey. Feel free to subscribe for more Mario Kart, wacky travel documentaries, and sweeping histories of anything we find interesting. Thanks again for watching, and until next time.